First of all, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for serving as a moderator today. But before I start, I just want to really thank Chairman Song from Korea Times, and obviously CEO, Mr. Oh Young-jin. The very fact that Chairman Song is still here with us really shows you that he cares about really expanding business here in South Korea. So I'm very thankful that despite his very busy schedule, he is here to the very end. So thank you very much, Chairman Song. As some of you know, I ran 3 American companies here in Korea before taking this job on as the chairman of AmCham. I ran the Yahoo business, the Microsoft business, and the GM business. And I can tell you that if I did not think Korea was a great place to do business, I would have left many years ago. And I want to say that we might be the first organization to publicly disclose that we want to make Korea a regional headquarters in Asia. That's something that is stated in our goals and vision last year and this year. In fact, our board of governors wrote a letter to President-elect Yoon when he became president and gave him our strong confirmation that we want to help make Korea a regional hub. But we did ask him to do a few things, right? One is taxation, both at the corporate and the individual level, create unique standards, and some CEO risk that happens. And we feel very emboldened by the fact that we can help him, because we did a survey at AmCham. The survey actually states that Korea now is the second most desired place for American companies to invest in Korea. So I think that gives you a pretty good framework for, number one, why I'm so excited, why I think we can do it, but we need everyone's help to actually make it work. I think we're talking a lot about the future, but the future is already here. Just at AmCham, we have 7 board of governors who are running Asia right here from Korea. Let me cite a couple of examples. The New York Times, for example, they moved their entire digital hub operation from Hong Kong to Korea. Most recently, I had a chance to interview the president publicly, and I asked him, how are things going in Korea? I can tell you, he had one complaint. It was all about just how to get his foreign expats to do more banking as individuals. But everything else beyond that, he was really, really happy about Korea. From the digital infrastructure, the people, language. So here's one good example. Another example is Amway. This is Amway's 2nd largest market in the world. We have a CEO here who used to be the former CMO globally for Amway, a Korean lady. She's doing amazing things here. In fact, doing more here that helps the world for Amway. So I think that now's the time for Korea to compete aggressively with other countries. Yeah, we could talk about some small things that are different from Korea than other countries, but I think we're already here. And now's the time to put a winning team together like what President Yoon has done. He's got an amazing staff of people, and I think we're really, really well positioned. We have many American companies that want to set up shop here in Korea. Look at the semiconductor companies here, right? But they're in competition with Singapore, some of these other countries. And if the government can really help them win the business here, we're going to have a very good regional headquarters in Korea. That's something I feel very, very confident about. It's not making wholesale changes, but just small little things that make people here very happy about doing a lot more. I know that my friend Mr. Ute spoke about corporate taxes, but what's more important is the individual tax. What I talked about earlier was we need to help make Korea the best place for companies and people to want to live and work and do business. But I'm an American citizen. I pay higher taxes in Korea than I pay to America. Before, I would pay more taxes in America than in Korea. We used to also have a flat tax system here, which is undergoing a lot of change. So I really believe that taxes for individuals are important, The other aspect that many of you may not even be aware of is what we call inheritance tax. As an American citizen living in Korea, if I were to die today, I'm subject to Korean inheritance tax, which is one of the highest in the world today. So if you kind of look at the pragmatic aspect, why would a foreigner who is coming to Korea to do business be subject to personal liability because of the Korean inheritance tax system? But the great news is we hosted presidential candidate Yoon at the time he was running for office, and he did make a campaign pledge that he would do something to address the inheritance tax. And I firmly believe in his campaign pledge. So it's not just corporate, but it's also personal. And when he can do both, as Mr. Woo Tae says, Korea is going to be a big winner. And we all need to continue to send that message along.